Stop worshipping this false god democracy and come back to worshipping Allah.
Radical Islam is spreading. The government is cracking down.
Together, we will defeat you.
They've made supporting ISIS a crime. As Control Titans, I spent 2 years with one of the most extreme groups in Britain.
He said, is it okay to behead someone?
This is a front to recruiting people for ISIS.
Meeting the YouTube sensation.
Obviously, if people watch my videos and get radicalized, then I'm not responsible for that.
You're lying!
The extreme provocateur.
This black flag you see here, one day is gonna be on 10 Downing Street.
And most shockingly, a hate preacher.
British government, go to hell!
Who would become one of the world's most wanted men.
The new jihadi John may well be this father of 4 from East London.
You just say your name?
Yeah, my name's Abu Rumesa.
It's January 2014, and I'm spending the day in Walthamstow, northeast London, with one of Britain's most vocal hate preachers, 30-year-old Abu Rumesa.
You grew up around here?
I know I grew up in North London, actually. I grew up in Palmer's Green. My background is I actually grew up as a non-Muslim from like a Hindu background, and I became Muslim when I was about 19, and I just moved here when I got married.
Now a father of 4, he runs his own business renting out bouncy castles for children's parties.
Do your family ever worry about your safety or their safety?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's natural that there is this kind of tension and caution as well. You've seen what far-right groups are capable of. So there is this kind of, worry and concern. But that's part of the struggle, that's part of the package. We believe, if we follow the path of the prophets, we're going to inevitably face these consequences. It's a bit of a mess. I'll show you. These are the black flags of Islam. This one is actually the flag of the Islamic State. So one day when the Sharia comes, you'll see this black flag everywhere. One famous scholar of Islam, Sheikh Omar Bakri Mohammed, he said that the black flag of Islam will one day fly high over 10 Downing Street. And that was about 10, 15 years ago. And, that was like, it seemed ludicrous back then, but if you look at the way society is moving on now, you can see that it's a very, very real possibility with the way Muslims are coming forward in this country.
Abu Rumesa has been a radical Muslim for 10 years. I contacted him via a website for a group advocating strict Sharia law in the UK.
Yeah, so basically, translation of this Arabic is, there is no one worthy of worship to follow or obey in truth except Allah, and that Muhammad is the final messenger. So we don't believe in sovereignty for the Queen. We don't believe that authority should be in the hands of the non-Muslims. We want to see this flag in every single country in the world.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. The Muslims are gathered outside Paddington Green Police Station. We will never give up calling for Islam. Whether you arrest us, whether you imprison us.
Abu Rumesa is the PR man for a group of radical Muslims who frequently organise provocative protests against the British government.
Theresa May, you are a tyrant. David Cameron, you are a tyrant.
The public in this country, they're living in ignorance. Their country is involved in war. And if they continue to remain silent and have this kind of like indifferent approach, then it's not going to help them. Look, one man died in Woolwich, Lee Rigby, and the whole country went up in uproar. There are many Lee Rigbys in Muslim countries, and if these issues aren't addressed, then we can only expect more carnage in this country and more cycle of violence.
BBC News at 10 o'clock. 9 men have been arrested in London as part of an investigation.
A radical Islamist preacher and political activist is among 9 men who've been arrested by counter-terrorism police in London.
Abu Rumesa is one of the 9 men arrested. After 3 days of questioning by counter-terror police, he's released on bail. 2 days later, he disappears. Last seen at Victoria Coach Station with his heavily pregnant wife and 4 children. Months later, it's assumed that he's gone to Syria, and he's openly revered as a hero by his friends and colleagues, including one of the men who was arrested with him, extremist preacher Abu Halima.
When was the last time you saw him? The day when we got arrested in September. I saw him at the police station. After that, I never saw him again. The whole time he was in the cell, he was just reciting Quran, you know, just loud reciting Quran. So when I saw him, it brought a bit of tranquility to my heart. His legacy still lives on till now, you know. His material is still the best material you can get. You know, we can't compare to it. The guy was like a machine. He was just turbocharged, always on the go.
Have you repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all your sins that you've committed, for all the shirk and the zandaka that you've committed?
With Abu Rumaysa gone, I've tracked down the rest of the radical group, outside Boots, on a North London high street.
Find out how Islam can liberate you from the shackles of freedom and democracy.
They're carrying out dawah, which means to recruit non-Muslims to Islam.
Interest you in the leaflet, find out about Islam.
Abu Rumaysa's role as senior spokesman has been taken over by Mohammed Shamsuddin, a divorcee with 5 children, and he's quick to justify their radical message.
The British government doesn't want to look at its own foreign policy. All he wants to do is look at Muslims, condemn Muslims, target Muslims. You're just stigmatizing a whole community. What's going to happen? You're going to face a backlash in this country.
Do you think a backlash is coming?
Of course it is, of course it is. If you're going to suppress some people for so long, you're going to suppress and suppress. I mean, it's like a tinderbox. It's going to explode.
So repent back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come forward.
The atmosphere changes when members of the group move to confront a passing Kurdish procession. Kurds are also Muslims. In the Middle East, the Kurdish army is currently fighting ISIS.
All disbelievers, all kuffar.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Allahu Akbar!
Islam for Kurdistan!
He's going past shouting ISIS terrorists.
Do you think we're scared of death? Do you really think we're scared of death?
Get back! Go back! Order of the Amir! It's the order of the Amir! Stop! Order of the Amir! Get out here now!
Yo, let's go.
Outnumbered, they retreat to the safety of Wood Green Shopping Centre and disperse. I'm nervous about providing this small group with the media platform they crave. But with ISIS on the rise and the terror alert level severe, it seems essential to understand the motives and activities of this secretive network.
Why do you like this location so much?
It shows the other side of UK, you know, the working class neighbourhoods, the sort of, you know, like the dirt, and just how it looks, you know, just looks like ghetto sort of.
4 days later, I'm meeting an old friend of Abu Rumaysa, fellow preacher Abu Halima, who I'm surprised to learn sometimes works as a London bus driver.
But today, I'm thinking, you know, over there where they got that nice light, I'm thinking we filmed there. There's a lot of noise from the traffic, but there's a nice bit of light. What do you think? Yeah, nice bit of light. Let's see how it looks on the camera.
He's becoming a social media sensation, regularly making videos for YouTube and Twitter to recruit young Muslims to radical Islam.
They're doing this carrot and stick approach. The carrot is where they say to you, okay, yeah, if you embrace democracy, we'll fund your masjid, we'll give you knighthood, we'll look after you. But if you reject our systems, we will oppress you, we will arrest you, we'll hassle your whole family, we'll take away your money, we'll try and take away your houses, we'll try and take your children from you. Stop worshipping this false god democracy and come back to worshipping Allah.